Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Monday, November 11th, in between games, in between the Bucks and the Hawks NBA Cup game, which is tonight as you're listening to this, the NBA Cup getting set. We'll talk about that. But we're here talking about a bunch of stuff that has gone on with Celtics and Bucks beef. You want to call it beef? Maybe it's more beef with the refs than beef with the Bucks. But
I think it might be like trolling, to be honest with you.
I don't think Tatum was trolling. I think he was actually a little bit.
No, Tatum not trolling. Giannis,
yes, Giannis and Jaylen was trolling. But how you doing, Sam?
Doing great. Happy about the Bucks game. We talked about it last night, but it was probably my favorite win of the season so far. I am personally a fan of the NBA Cup, so talking about that today will be pretty exciting. We'll go through the Celtics stuff. We'll go through the rest of the league's kind of groups, and we can do predictions if we need to fill the time. Should be a lot of fun to talk about. We have some bonus Celtics stuff just to keep you up to speed with what's going on. Then we'll go through the NBA standings because what a time it is to look at them. It's a lot of fun. There's two teams that you can't even see if you don't accept the cookies. So keep your eyes up for that. Stick around to find out which two. And then we'll go through some rumors around the NBA, talk about maybe a postmortem on a rival team. Then we'll do the rat list and get up out of here. Happy Veterans Day. Yeah.
Happy Veterans Day. Before we start, shout out. So Danny, Danny ran the half marathon. My roommate Ryan ran the half marathon, and then my roommate's girlfriend Meg, our friend, ran the half marathon. So shout out to them. We went out, supported them. All did really well. Ryan broke 2 hours, which is sick. So good for him. Beast. So did Meg. Meg also broke 2 hours, and then Danny got 2:09, which his goal was like 2:25. So he crushed what he was trying to hit. So shout out everybody for running the half marathon. We were at like mile 9, like catching up to them, and Danny texted us. He's like, "I need gas. I need something. I'm falling." And so Brian and I said, "We're there." We go, "Danny, bring the boom." He just goes, "Boom, boom, boom."
There really is something about running and seeing people while you run. We don't have to spend too much time on this, but as somebody who runs myself, I run on like the main road. So if somebody drives by me and like sticks their hand out the window and I like know who it is, I get like a second win. But shout out to them because running a half marathon would be no joke. I don't run that far. I do run distance, but like I have no interest in doing more than like 8 miles. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, they killed it. So shout out to them. It was fun. But anyways, let's jump into the Celtics versus the refs. So we talked about it a little bit on our Celtics Bucks recap show yesterday as you're listening to this. But we didn't talk about Tatum's comment about the refs. We talked about Joe very briefly, even saying like, you can't miss that call. Like, that's ridiculous. And then Tatum via Jay King of The Athletic said his ankle's a little sore and probably will be, but the issue is, quote, cool, which is just like the most Tatum thing. Like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. That's fine. But he said, that's something that could have been out for 6 weeks or whatever. For me, that shit is frustrating when all you get is a quote, sorry, I missed it. Which you understand, he even went on Twitter and called out the play.
The guy that he quote tweeted was so excited. he was like, Tatum quote tweeted me. Good for him, though.
I see him on Twitter all the time. I'll pull it up just so it can be on the screen. But he quote tweeted a video from Big Lynch, who I see all the time on Celtics Twitter, and was just like, there's some calls
Big
you
Lynch,
just can't miss. Right?
A rare fan of the City Edition jerseys, by the way.
Oh, really? He likes them?
To
each their own. To each their own, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, Tatum's right. Like, you can't miss this call. This is like, they implemented an entire rule. You know what's even crazy? They implemented a rule based on a play that happened in this same corner, in this exact same scenario. This is bar for bar. The reason why they created the rule is the play that is on the screen, or the play that happened in the game for audio listeners. Like, Tatum jumps. After he jumps, Giannis slides his foot under him and in his landing space. And for what it's worth, like, Tatum jumps forward a little. This is not a play where Tatum is like moving his legs egregiously to try to get a foul, right? This is a completely natural shooting motion.
Correct.
People jump forward a little in their jump shots. Most people jump forward a little in their jump shots. And I would say Tatum, like, he doesn't jump far forward at all. He maybe like a foot, maybe like a couple inches. Like, you can't miss this call, and you can understand why Joe and Jason in particular are very upset.
Yeah, so you made a really good point about this last night when we were talking about it, because I was like, if I was a ref, there'd be tough credibility with this one because guys fall down on threes all the time. then you were like, yeah, but the whole point of like being a ref is seeing the guy stepping on the 3-point line, so you have to look at his feet. And I was like, you know what? That's actually a really good point. Like that makes a lot of sense. And in this situation, this is an egregious miss. We did a little bit of a rundown on the Giannis non-flagrant. Like he had 2 flagrant fouls that weren't called flagrant fouls yesterday. That's pretty nuts. Like this dude gets away with murder. It almost falls into the Draymond category where Draymond does so many things that you just can't call all of them. If they called Giannis for everything that he does that could be a flagrant foul, Giannis would not play more than half of the games end to end, and that's not good for the NBA. So I think that has something to do with this. Also, shout out to Darvin Ham for the big smirk on his face as Tatum's on the ground.
I wonder if there is an element to it where, like, for example, when Giannis or when Draymond does it, like, he has a history of being malicious. Like, I don't want this to turn into like, screw Giannis, like this guy's a dirty player, because I don't think he is. I think he is just very aggressive. And I don't think there is any ever maybe dirty player is not the way to phrase it. I don't think there is ever malintent behind what Giannis is doing. Like, I don't think he's trying to harm people. You know what I'm saying? I think
I don't think so either.
A very aggressive brand of basketball. And if you want to argue, like, you got to rein that in because you're going to cause injury, sure. Like, I can get there. But with Draymond, like, we have seen him actively try to harm people. like, there has been malintent behind what Draymond has been trying to do. I don't think Draymond's
for stomping Sabonis. Funniest player
exactly.
ever.
I don't think Draymond's a bad person. I just think he does dumb shit and has malintent behind some of the things he does. Maybe of his anger issues, whatever you want to call it. I think Giannis has no like malicious intent behind what he is trying to do. So maybe that is why they give him the benefit of the doubt so much, because they know, like, in the grand scheme of things, he is just trying to make a play. That said, you can't miss this, right? You can't miss this. You can't miss the elbows. They called it an offensive foul earlier in the game when he swung the elbow and hit Jaylen. I see people in the comments like of this play that Tatum retweeted saying, like, do you mean like when you slap LeBron's hand? Like, not even close to the same play. Just not even close to the same thing that is happening. Like, they're referencing the one that the missed call on LeBron, like where Tatum slapped his arm and it went to overtime.
The one where LeBron threw a temper tantrum on the park. Yeah. You know what you're
and for what it's worth, yeah, the refs fucked up the call. It should have been a foul on Tatum, 1,000%. But the difference is that was not a play that could have got LeBron James injured for multiple weeks and had him out. Like there's a difference between a missed foul call, and I get that missed foul call is heightened because it's the end of the game, and I'm not arguing whether or not it should have been a foul. It should have been a foul, period. But this was like a dangerous play. This is a dangerous play that they have specifically implemented a rule for in the last 10 years because players got injured like this. And it's, again, I don't like the whole superstar whistle thing, but it's one thing to miss it on a random play and garbage time, whatever. It's Jayson Tatum. Like, this is a superstar. If there's anybody who's going to get the benefit of doubt with the call, it should be one of the best players in the league. I do wonder if there is a boy who cried wolf element to it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe when a guy's just doing this every single game, palms up. Like, I joke a lot about guys like Luka and LeBron, like, first team all palms up. Tatum is also there. He loves to complain. He complains so much sometimes that he's taken himself out of games because he's so upset with the officials. Yesterday was an instance where he deserved to be upset, not only about the missed call, but like you said, Jack, he could have been sidelined for 6 weeks. And he said that in the tweet. Like, he could have missed significant time in a season where he's playing objectively well, even though the shot selection might not be the best, but he's doing everything. Yeah. He's contributing to winning, and he's really stepped. He's playing good ball.
Yes.
You don't really want him to have to miss time at this stage, especially with the NBA Cup coming up. But to have that be a missed call is pretty crazy, especially with the lightning whistles you get on some other shit.
Definitely. And he's probably the MVP front runner right now. Excuse me. It's
Celtics
him or it's him or Anthony Davis, right? Anthony Davis, whose Lakers are 6-3, which isn't bad. It's still good, but Tatum's 9-2. Jokic is probably up there too because the Nuggets have surged back from a slow start and they're 7-3, and he's carrying a heavier load than he ever has, averaging 30, 14, and 12, which is excuse me, kind of crazy. But Tatum's up there, and you can't miss a call like this. That's a egregious blown call, and Tatum called it out. Joe called it out, and like they said, we can't say anything different. That's just one of the ones you can't miss. Like ones where players can get injured are the fouls that have to be called, and they have to be reviewed. And the worst part is like it's one thing where if they were like, we're not reviewing it for flagrant, that'd be bad enough. They didn't even call it personal. Like they didn't call any foul. They called nothing on the play, and then they made Joe Mazzulla call a timeout afterwards because the Bucks just like ran in transition. It was like this awkward like 2 minutes where no one was doing anything because Joe was sitting there like, are you really gonna fucking make me call a timeout for your bullshit? Like, what are we doing? I think he was just like looking at them, and in his head, he's like, I'm not calling a timeout. You fucked this up. You fix it. But obviously, they're not gonna do that. So he had to call the timeout.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked a little bit about Giannis. Giannis, especially in that play, it's not a dirty play. Certainly not. Like, I don't think he didn't like look down. He didn't do the Zaza. What I can say is there is something to be said about the way Giannis plays because I'm not in the camp that I think he's a dirty player or malicious. I'm not. But there are people that are. And there is a significant chunk of people that are. I don't think people feel that way for nothing.
Excuse me. I get it. But I don't know. Also, sorry again if you hear me sniffling. I'm in hell.
They were nice to you today, Jack. They actually were nice to you in the comments. Never happened.
Thank you, RJ. Thank you, RJ. Thank you, Muse. Last time I sniffled on the air, someone told me I was fat, so I appreciate you for being kind.
That's why you have a runny nose.
Yeah. So it was like, oh man, it was like last summer. They were like, I thought this guy coughed so much and had congestion because he did a lot of drugs. It turns out he's just 400 pounds. I was like, what the fuck? How do you get to that connection?
It's real mean.
Next thing. Let's preview the NBA Cup a little bit. Celtics got the Hawks tonight as you're listening to this. Tuesday, if you're listening after Tuesday, they played the Hawks. But NBA Cup group, Celtics, Hawks, Cavs, Bulls, Nets. Did I get that? Is it bar for bar?
Celtics, Cavs, Bulls, Wizards, Hawks.
Because the Scrappies. Even better. Coming into the year, it looked like that would be the easiest NBA Cup group, and now it turns out it's probably the hardest because every other team outside of the
I wouldn't say hardest. What I would say is it is significantly better than we thought it was going to be because the Cavs are 11-0 as we're recording.
I mean,
they might even lose to Chicago tonight. Watch out.
From a quite literal sense, it is the only group in the Eastern Conference with an above 500 team. Not multiple, with an above 500 team. It is the only one. Every other one has, and outside of the Pacers, every other group in the Eastern Conference has all below 500 teams.
Yes.
So, like,
what we can say about that is the Sixers have not played with Embiid yet, and he's going to play against New York in the in-season tournament opener on Tuesday. Again, with the suspension that he got, which was just, it was honored while he was still recovering from an injury. Okay, NBA, go ahead. You just cook with that one. Okay, actual in-season tournament stuff, though, or NBA Cup stuff. I'm excited about this. I will give you a quick rundown if you do not know how this works. Just did a little write-up for Celtics blog. So first and foremost, as we mentioned, each conference split into 3 groups of 5. The winner of each group moves on to play in the knockout stage, and then there is one wild card team that advances as well, which is whichever of the runner-ups has 1, the best record, or 2, the best point differential. Then there's knockout stages. It's quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. Quarterfinals are played at the site of whichever team has the better record. Then the semis and finals are at a neutral site in Vegas. All games count towards the regular season record. So if you say, I don't care about this tournament, it's stupid, well, you should still want the Celtics to win because you want them to have a good record. The only game that does not count is the final. That is an extra game. Even though I still feel as if you win the final, you should just get a free win. You get to replace a loss. This is just how I feel. Overall, it's a lot of fun. All the players get prize money if they win. They do stupid shit with the courts, but last year the Celtics set the bar as the floor with the court, and this year they actually did a good job with it, so I'm not even mad about it. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Point differential matters, though, which is going to make these games a lot of fun. Even if the Celtics are stomping, let's say, Washington, they still have incentive to want to run the score up as much as possible. Last year, we got the moment where Andre Drummond was being hack-a-Drummonded when the Bulls were down 30. It was fire. So get ready for this. It's a lot of fun. If you like soccer, you're familiar with this kind of format. It's how the World Cup is done. It's how the Champions League used to be done. Oddly enough, the Champions League changed their format after the NBA did this. Did they say get off our lawn? Maybe they did.
Oh wow, what did they change it to?
It's now it's just like standings. I think they got rid of groups. I think that's what it is. I'm not exactly sure, but they got rid of this. They said, "Fuck off, Adam Silver."
Cool. The NBA Cup is fun. It was fun last year. I can only imagine it'll be just as fun this year. Gonna be interesting to see who comes out of the East because the Eastern Conference is historically ass to start this year. Like if there was ever a year to start the discussion of you need to get rid of conferences, this is it. Because like it is that bad. It is that much of a oh my god. Like the point being, like the third place team in the East this year would be 10th in the West.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Pick also now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Sam and I use Prize Picks on the pregame show every single time. We love picking more on turnovers for opposing players. We love picking more on Jayson Tatum points, on Drew Holiday threes, on Al Horford threes. It's our favorite time of the show. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
That's a problem. Excuse me. Sorry. They would be 11th in the West. The third place team, home court advantage in the East, would not get you in the playoffs in the Western Conference. Like, if there was ever a time to start the discussion, it would be this year. But regardless, NBA Cup going to be very interesting. Celtics, Cavs, Hawks, Wizards, Bulls. They got the Hawks first. I think it's going to be extra fun because it's probably going to come down to Celtics Cavs in the East to some degree.
That's game 2 of this group, by the way.
But even like looking forward, like that could be the East Finals very easily. Not like the conference finals, but like the finals for the NBA Cup.
They would both have to be 1 and 2 in the group, and the point differential have to be there for whichever team loses Tuesday to clinch the wild card. But it could happen. Just schedule, if you're wondering, all of these games are played on Tuesdays and Fridays. So you have tonight's as you're listening to this, then you have next Tuesday. Then I think you have both Fridays. You have the 22nd, 29th for Fridays. Should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. I would like the Celtics to win this. If you don't like this competition, I still think you should want the Celtics to win it because you're in the thing. You might as well try and win the trophy. It'd be pretty cool. The players that don't make a lot of money on this team would get a little bit of a bonus. You probably get to hang like a different looking banner in the Garden. Maybe make a green one, right? Wouldn't that be a little bit cool? Have 2 banner nights in 1 year.
Yep. And you could have the chance to be the first ever team to win the in-season tournament or the NBA Cup and the NBA championship. Something the Lakers failed to do last year. So
yeah. Well, this is going to be a big year to find out if this competition's like fake or not. Because if it to be honest with you, why don't we just do the whole thing now? The whole talk about all the groups because I don't want to come back to it.
Sure.
After the fact. So with the NBA Cup, it would be so funny if every year like a team that everybody knows isn't that good wins it because they decided to try early in the season. Like it would be kind of through one season, the NBA Cup's brand if like Philly went on a run and won it, despite being like 2-7 right now, or Milwaukee. Like
that would be funny. That's the point, though. That's the point of the tournament. Like that correct. Is why it is in place.
If you're a Milwaukee right now, Milwaukee needs to have a good in-season tournament performance. That is like one thing, as much as I proclaimed them dead yesterday, I could see giving their season a spark. The fact that they can buckle down and win games that are more important than the rest, that would be a very good thing for them. But the other groups, as I pull this up, NBA Cup. Go ahead. You got it, NBA.com. I had it open another tab. I don't know why I closed. NBA.com, by the way, has a whole tab. Oh, here it is. To the NBA Cups, and it doesn't bring you right to the groups. Okay, so Group A in the East. New York, Orlando, Philly, Brooklyn, Charlotte. In my opinion, that's probably the most difficult group right now. In the East. Group B, Milwaukee, Indiana, Miami, Raptors, Pistons. Nice little added Milwaukee, Indiana rivalry. You had the Giannis running away with the basketball last year. Then you had the playoffs, and now you have this. And then East C is Celtics, Cavs, Bulls, Hawks, Wizards. West A is Timberwolves, Clippers, Kings, Rockets, Blazers. That is a pretty easy group. Really, it feels like, I don't know, man. You said it. The West teams have better records than the East, but of like championship level contenders, Minnesota is the only team in that group you can see make a real playoff run. West B is OKC, Phoenix, Lakers, Jazz, Spurs. It's a little bit tougher too. And then Group C, you want to talk about maybe the hardest group, Jack. Denver, Dallas, New Orleans, Golden State, and then Memphis.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Now,
all of the
Memphis,
Western
New
Conference
Orleans,
groups are going to be a pain in the ass.
very, very injury riddled, both of those teams. But the other three are all playing pretty solid ball.
Yeah, I mean, even Memphis is 7-4. Like, injured or not, they're still a force. Like, they're still monsters this year. Let me look. Let me see who's playing and who has played / is injured for Memphis. Memphis, Jaws played 8 games. Jaren's played 9 games. Desmond Bane's only played 5. But then Aldama, Scottie Pippen, Jalen Wells, Zach Edey, Jay Huffs, Jake LaRavia, like they've all played 11. They're all getting in there and playing their minutes. Like they're just a we have depth. We are good. Team, so they're nuts too. So Jaren Jackson having a phenomenal season. Yeah, this is the NBA Cup's gonna be very fun. Eastern Conference is gonna be weird because it sucks. Like, my God, these are some horrific groups through and through. Like Bucks, Pacers, Heat, Raptors, Pistons is disgusting, and I hate saying it, but Pistons got a real shot. A real chance to get through that.
Pistons, so this show's a mess. The Pistons have actually been playing decent ball. They just keep losing games by 2 points. They're actually not terrible.
Yeah.
They're just not experienced enough yet. But I mean, this is really a big opportunity for these teams that have stumbled out the gate to get right. Like Milwaukee's one, Philly's another, with Embiid coming back. Even the Knicks they're sub 500 right now. Like they haven't had the start that everyone expected them to have. They've got solid teams in their group, like no Palo for Orlando, but Brooklyn has been playing better basketball than everyone thought, and so is Charlotte. It's just everybody's just mediocre. The West is going to be an absolute bloodbath. I think. Quick predictions, Jack. Group A: Knicks, Magic, Sixers, Nets, Hornets. Who you got?
I'll just go the Knicks. I just think it's easiest.
Knicks.
I think they're the best team.
I think Philly might win. I think it. Well, first of all, I don't really know who New York has for Embiid, but who knows if Embiid is even going to have anything. It also helps that the Knicks' first game. Actually, I'm going to switch to the Knicks because the first game of the Embiid's return is against the Knicks. Like they're going to get Embiid as like up to speed as possible. He's getting his footing back underneath him in that first game. All right, B: Bucks, Pacers, Heat, Raptors, Pistons. You sticking with the Pistons?
No, this feels like the most Heat shit I've ever seen in my life. This is the most let's start trying, let's win the in-season cup. Like, yeah, this is Heat culture, and then I don't know, whatever. Like they're anti-regular season, but since this technically is the regular season, I'll take the Heat because I think the rest of the group is pretty mediocre.
Pistons. Group C: Celtics, Cavs, Hawks, Wizards.
I think Celtics and Cavs.
Celtics are going to play for real. I think what you saw in the second half against Milwaukee yesterday is a good barometer of what to expect when the stakes are high. That felt like a game the Celtics really wanted to win. They turned it up. There's a great clip going around Twitter of defensive possession where all 5 players on the floor for the Celtics closed out incredibly well on Bucks shooters, and it resulted in a 24-second violation. Or no, it was a travel by Torian
Yeah.
Prince because he went up to shoot and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm not open." And he just came back down with the ball. I think they'll play
So
for
bad.
real against the Cavs. They'll have the home crowd behind them. I think they should win.
Yeah, I think Celtics will win the group or the Cavs will win a group, but I think both will get out. Like I think those two will get out of the group.
Yeah, whichever of those two teams is not the group winner will probably be the wild card team. That is a good take. All right, West Group A: Timberwolves, Clippers, Kings, Rockets, Blazers. You think it's Ant and the boys? You want to pick against them so bad.
I weirdly think this is something that the Rockets will do well in, so I'm gonna take the Rockets.
Wow,
They're 6-4 right now. I think the Rockets have been playing good basketball. I think Jaylen Green is playing a lot better than I thought he would play. He's still not super efficient, but he's getting there. Şengün's pretty good. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rockets. I think the Rockets win the group.
I feel like such a square for picking Minnesota, but I just think they're gonna have some kind of hunger about them after coming up short in the playoffs. Like this will be the first chance that Anthony Edwards really gets to try and like get his lick back on the NBA. But all of these teams in the group, aside from Portland, have a 6-4 record. So all of them have been playing around the same clip. The Clippers are the hottest team right now. They've won 4 in a row, but I'll stick with Minnesota. I just think they will want it maybe the most out of all of them. All right, so this is the bloodbath.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not the bloodbath. Sorry. OKC, Phoenix, Lakers, Jazz, Spurs.
Still a really good group. Still a really good group. I'm just gonna go OKC. I was between. I mean, I think them, the Suns, or the Lakers. Like, I think all three could win the group, but I'm gonna just pick the Thunder.
I think we're gonna get a Suns win.
I was bouncing between the two. Yeah, that's fair.
The NBA Cup is so weird because I feel, and plus Chet just got hurt. So did Durant. So they're both without their big guy that can shoot, the big tall guy, skinny guy. They're also both 8-2. Man, that, you know what? Honestly, that sways me. I kind of forgot Durant was. I'm gonna go OKC. I just think they have the bodies to like deal with no Chet.
Okay, got you.
Final group: Denver, Dallas, Pelicans, Warriors, Grizzlies.
You go the Warriors. I think
I'm
the
with
Warriors
you.
win. I don't think the Nuggets care enough. I think the Mavs are a little out of sorts at the moment. They're fine, but they're a little like shaky. Pelicans are hurt. Grizzlies are
Hurt.
You don't know, hurt.
No jaw.
I'll go the Warriors. And for what it's worth,
Warriors.
I think the Lakers get out. I think they're gonna. I think they'll be like the wild card just because they won last year. So they'll be like, all right, we're gonna plant our flag here. We can't. It wasn't a fluke. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that'll be the shtick.
Yeah, I can see that. LeBron probably wants his stupid trophy named after him. I'm gonna say Warriors win Group C. I can see. I'm gonna go with the loser of OKC Phoenix to get out.
Okay, that's cool. Next thing is a preview just dropped. It was put on Twitter, I believe.
Yep.
It's called, what's it called? Celtic City.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Celtics.
So we can watch the preview. It's literally 9 seconds, so it is not a long preview, but we can take a quick look. There's no story like the Boston Celtics. It's bigger than basketball and everything you love about it too. Bill Simmons quote, but
I respect what people have laid here before.
that is the lamest.
What a preview!
I hadn't watched it till just then. That sucked. That was an awful, awful preview. Listen, in my opinion, a preview should do 3 things. 1, should give you a grasp of what the series is about. 2, should get you pumped to watch it. And 3, should contain clips from relevant points in the series. That did none of the 3. That did 0 for 3. It did not tell me what the series was going to be about at all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, it gave me the general basis of it's about the history of the Celtics, kind of, but also Jaylen Brown was introing it. So maybe like the only clip we got 3 didn't get me clips from it. The only clip was a Jaylen Brown sit down, which is like, is it about like the current team? Is it about the history? And then 3, I'm not hyped to watch it after that. It was Jaylen Brown talking and then Larry Bird dunking. Like cool, but terrible.
I'm still hyped. I'm still
That
hyped
was
to watch
awful.
it. I'm pretty sure Simmons is a producer on this, which would probably make it very good. I just trust him with something like this. I think this series is going to be the best content we get out of last season. They were following them around. Wick teased it like in February, and we were all like, whoa, you're doing a documentary even though you haven't won yet? This is shaping up to be a disaster, especially me. I was like, what are we doing here? Trying to jinx them? I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be better than what we got from the NBA. I think there's going to be less filter with it, and you're going to get a really good look of what was going on. Not to say there was a whole lot of like controversy around the Celtics, but it's going to be fun to get an inside look at that team. Very likable team, and it's supposed to drop in April. So right as the playoffs are getting ready to go, you can get hyped for them by watching this, which rocks.
Should be fun. I'm still gonna watch it. That just preview is terrible.
Yeah,
That
preview
was the whole point.
preview is bad. Like undoubtedly, can't
yeah.
dispute you, but I think the series is going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. Okay. Last Celtics thing before the email, as my sneeze just took over my body. Jaylen talked to Sports Illustrated. I think this was like last week, a couple weeks ago, because I remember writing about it, but we never talked about it here. About his shoes. Kobe was the reason he wanted to start this brand. Was the whole point of putting this on here to joke about Jayson and Kobe?
Yes,
was that the only
yes,
point?
it was because I didn't.
Why are we talking about this then? Then what are we doing?
No, it wasn't. I didn't know it was old, but I thought it was like some good insight to why he wanted to start the brand. But I just thought it was funny that the first thing he said is Kobe, and I wanted to tweet and be like, Tatum saw this and is fucking heated. He's like, that's my thing. I'm gonna stay away from Kobe. But here's the full quote, so Jack can not have to worry about his sickness. He goes, honestly, I got the idea from Kobe. Rest in peace. Before he passed away, he was planning to launch his own shoe brand, sign athletes, and give them better deals and percentages. I remember reading an article about that, and I thought it was dope. I've gone through my own experiences dealing with major corporations and how they value your creativity, and I know how they value you. I met with every brand, and none of them stood out. They all kind of approached things the same. I was looking for a brand of the future, not the brand of the past, and I couldn't find it, so I had to start it. Just some more insight into what Jaylen's plans are with this. We kind of knew that this was the motivation, that he really kind of had beef with a lot of these corporations, respect, especially Nike. Nike can get bent, but it's exciting to see what he's going to do with all these sneakers. And if he's really fully behind it, it has real wheels to be successful, especially if he's going to treat the people that are members or like brand athletes better than the rest of these brands. I don't see why you wouldn't want that unless you solely want the brand recognition, which I mean is a thing for people.
Yeah.
For Kobe,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Nike, who you're gonna have to deal with for 10 more years, Sam.
I saw guy in the Celtics blog Slack.
Yeah.
Rav told
Yeah.
me, man, I was fucking devastated.
10 more years. Was it 10 or 12? It's a lot.
12.
Long time. 12 more years. Oh, baby.
This is how people feel about politics right here, man. This is me finding out about Nike.
No, yeah, cool for Jaylen. I mean, obviously a very good reason to want to start this. It sounds just like the reasons we hypothesize and the reasons he has explained it for, wanting to do this, et cetera, et cetera. So just very cool thing that he's doing. Anyways.
Basketball season is back, and I could not be more excited. Getting to watch my favorite team live in person is my favorite time of the year, and I get all of my tickets on Game Time. Game Time is the perfect app to use for all of your ticketing needs. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It brings the best prices, the best deals for you to go watch live basketball right to the front. But it's more than basketball season. The Patriots are back, and the Chargers are coming to town on very, very soon, and it looks like you can get a great deal to that game. Justin Herbert going to come to Gillette Stadium to hopefully play Drake May. He did get the start recently, so that should be a very, very fun quarterback matchup as well. My favorite part of the app is the fact that you can filter out the fees, you can look at the best deals, and it highlights what it believes are going to be the best deals for you to get the exact type of ticket you want. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, everything you want. I saw Noah Khan over the summer. I use Game Time to get my tickets. All-in pricing is another part that I absolutely love about the app. Toggling the feature shows the exact total upfront. Like I said, filters out the fees, tells you what you're paying with everything included. It is perfect. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time.
We can jump over to the email here. Reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. Let's jump on over there. We got a couple. From RJ. Just his quick takes from the win over the Bucks. Afternoon, folks. Any win is a good win. So a few fast observations. Celtics play better when they play quicker. Not a faster shot, just initiating the offense sooner in the clock with some urgency. I agree. Peyton Pritchard held the rope in the first half until everyone could grab on. Yep. Nimi keeps contributing with real minutes. I hope in the next 2 weeks he'll improve his alley-oop in his baby hook or Parrish jumper. I'm not picky. Fun stat, the Bucks scored 40 points in the first quarter and then 38 in the second half. That's the job done.
Good stat.
Good stat. Yeah, very cool. Sorry, I was coughing.
The defense is the most fun thing to watch. I mean, I said it to you at the beginning of the show. I said it to you yesterday. That was my favorite one of the season, and it was because you could feel the intensity that the Celtics played with. You could see them actively decide that they have seen enough of what is happening. Came out in the second half, immediately set the tone with a great run to start it. And then all of a sudden, Derek White and Drew Holiday turned the game on its head by playing defense. Shout out to them. And it reminded everybody that the Celtics are here to play. Because so far this season, there have been a lot of questions, whispers around people in our circles are like, they just don't want to play defense anymore. They don't want to play defense. Turns out when you win a championship, maybe you just don't care about playing even the Warriors, even though they should. That. Or the Nets were really a better example.
I think they just got caught off guard by the Warriors. I think the Warriors just played a different style of defense than they anticipated, and they didn't adjust.
Warriors play good. They're a good team this year, apparently.
Second and last one from RJ. Celtics can't be slow without KP. Morning, folks. Everyone likes a leisurely stroll, unless it's on the basketball court. Yes, the Celtics are good enough to win without playing full out for 48 minutes. The last two games against the Bucks and the Nets showed that. But why play with your food when you don't have to? Boston is better when they play up-tempo. No, not fast breaking all the time, but much less walking. The ball up would be helpful. Last year, the Celtics could overcome their slow motion habits with KP on the floor, but until he returns, faster play will make the games easier to win. Be well, RJ. I agree for the most part. That said, and I don't think this is what the Celtics are doing, there is a benefit to being in close games because at the very least they get practice playing in close games. So not that they should play poorly just to put themselves in those positions, but the fact that they have already played X amount of close games in the first week or two, whatever weeks of the season is not a bad thing, I would say.
No, it's good for experience. I agree with RJ, though. It's a good take where, I mean, I personally just don't think it's as fun to watch the Celtics without Porzingis if they're going to play slow because you see a lot of watch this from the two superstars. Just a lot of step back threes. Like we talked about in the second half against Milwaukee, Jaylen takes the heave from half court, just like 10 seconds of the possession, ball doesn't move. He'd seen enough, fires it up there in a close game. It's like, no, man. Yeah, sure, it's a one possession game in the fourth quarter, but look how far I can shoot from. Or Tatum, look at this shot I can create. Close game, need a bucket here. Watch this. All right.
Not great. Definitely not ideal. Okay. Thank you, RJ, for the emails. Let's jump over to the NBA. Take a look at the standings, see how teams are doing around the league. Reminder, as always, you guys can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. All right. We kind of looked at it a little bit when we were looking at the NBA Cup. But like I mentioned, there are two teams that are above 500 in the Eastern Conference. It's the Celtics and the Cavs. The Pacers are 500, 5-5, and then everyone else is below. Really, really, really bad Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, in the West, everyone's about 500 that is in the playoff / play-in picture. So good year to be in the East. Great year to be in the East. Let's see. Cavs just keep winning. They just keep winning. I just think they're good. I think they're better than we gave them credit for, and they're proving us wrong.
Saw a tweet. Cavs are the 2015 Hawks. I agree.
I get it to some degree, sure. I do think they have a better, I don't want to say chance in the playoffs, but I think they're built better to compete in the playoffs than those Hawks teams because they have an actual superstar type player. Somebody who can create his own shot consistently. Like those Hawks teams really have a consistent shot creator, and I think Donovan Mitchell is that. But
it's a real shame to see Philly and Milwaukee so low. It's changed since the screenshot was posted, but I did see a Reddit post that was like, you have to click accept cookies to see Philly and Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference standings if you're on NBA.com because they are at the very bottom. It eclipses the bottom two spots, and you cannot see those teams. Embiid is going to be back. There's actual hope for the Sixers. The Bucks we'll talk about in a minute. It does not feel that way. The rest of the East is pretty like, what do I make of this right now? And it's kind of hard because, one, there's some injuries. Like Paolo's not playing for Orlando right now, and he was really good to start the season. The Knicks clearly are having some growing pains. Miami doesn't quite look the same. Brooklyn's playing better than everyone expected, but they're still 4-6. And all of these teams are just mediocre, all at like the same level. So don't know what to make of it.
It's tough. Do you think the Sixers and Bucks missed the playoffs?
No, I think Milwaukee.
I think they'll both at least make the play-in. I don't think they both miss it. I don't think they'll miss it, the play-in. That just seems too egregious. But
I think Philly will be fine. I don't know about Milwaukee. Do you want to move on to Milwaukee just now? Or you want to include this in this section? Because we have plans to talk about.
Yeah, we can just talk about Milwaukee here instead. That's fine.
Okay. So I think Milwaukee's dead. I feel like they're dead.
Dead?
Yes. I think the in-season tournament may be like their only opportunity to like spark something. Watching that game yesterday, they have nothing going for them. Giannis 40 ball. Everybody else sucked. They were all horrible. Dame sucked. Dame was bad on offense. He was a cone on defense. He's somebody who is taking up so much cap space that it's very difficult to even put good players around them. Their offseason was going to get Taurean Prince and Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr., who lost his starting spot to Andre Jackson earlier this season. These guys, and Andre Jackson doesn't want to shoot any threes. And if you're playing next to Giannis, you have to want to do that. They don't have anything exciting about them. Their young guys are not exciting. And if they are exciting, we don't know about it because Doc doesn't want to play them. If you're Milwaukee, here are your two things you can do. Galvanize yourself and compete in this NBA Cup, or B, fire Doc and hope that somebody else fixes it. And if neither of those things work, they are dead, because there is no way to improve this team unless you start taking pieces off the top.
The reason I can't say they're dead is one, because Giannis is too good. Any team with Giannis, I refuse to say is dead 10 games into the season. I can't. He's too good.
The Bucks have been well below 500 since Doc joined.
I know.
Even with
the other reason is because I do think there are pathways for them to make impact trades. Like I do think there are players around the league that they could get with the players they have and improve the roster. Like Cam Johnson in Brooklyn, right? Like a Corey Kispert in
What does
in
Cam
Washington.
Johnson give you that some of these other guys are good points, but Cam Johnson, what does he give you that Dame doesn't give you?
Cam Johnson?
Oh, I'm sorry, Cam Thomas. Yeah, I was thinking of Cam Johnson as
it's like what?
Yes, he would be a good fit. My bad. No. My bad. Absolute brain. Yes, that would be a good piece. But I don't like. What does Brooklyn want from Milwaukee? What picks does Milwaukee have? I feel like they don't have for a lot of picks.
They don't have a lot of picks, but they have like a couple seconds. They have a couple firsts that Portland has the rights to swap. They have a New Orleans, like they could get creative. There's something they could do to get creative.
But you don't think Brooklyn's going to get better offers for Cam Johnson?
Maybe, but I'm just saying the Bucks have tradable salaries, and they are in a tough spot because they are a second apron team, so they can't combine salaries. So it would have to be like They'd have to trade Brook Lopez for like
Brook
Cam Johnson or
Lopez,
somebody.
Nets all-time leading scorer. I could see the storyline there where the Nets maybe want to fill some seats.
But like Pat Connaughton makes $9 million and Corey Kispert makes like $5 million. Like you could do that if you wanted to say, okay, we need somebody else who can create. Like Dennis Schroeder doesn't make a ton of money and he looks amazing this season, and he's a point of attack defender who has been solid this year. So like you go get Dennis Schroeder who makes 13 mil. You can trade Brook Lopez for Dennis Schroeder and like I don't know, poach somebody else from that Nets team that could give you something. Like maybe you can find something there. You look at the Wizards. Maybe you're like, okay, this isn't exactly working. Maybe Valanciunas can be a big body. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they just have enough salary to be like, we can grab this here, we can grab here. It's 13 million. Maybe we can get him, or maybe we can get like something from the Jazz that we might like a Walker Kessler if we want to run a better rim protector because we don't think what's his name, Brook Lopez is playing as well anymore. Or I just think they have enough wiggle room and Giannis Antetokounmpo to be like, okay, maybe we can find a little bit of something here. And it's only been 10 games. I'm not saying I've seen anything based on their track record, especially with Doc, that gives me hope that they can turn it around. But I'm not ready to completely give up on a Giannis-led team through 10 games.
If Dame is on this team, I don't see them being able to put anything together. It's not even about him as a player. Well, it is, but it's more about the money he's making. And we knew this before the trade happened, when all the Dame to Miami talk was going, and he was being a real pain in the ass about that whole news cycle. And he was like, I only want to play for the Heat. Said he didn't want to play for the Celtics. Like, first of all, I'm so happy he didn't want to play for the Celtics. But that is such a bad contract for any team that isn't the Portland Trailblazers, who have some sentimental value there. This guy's aging. He's going to be making $112 million next season and the season after as part of an extension. This is only going to get worse for Milwaukee. They're not going to be able to bring in new guys. If they are lucky enough to find trade partners that give them meaningful pieces, maybe. But that avenue seems very bleak. I just don't think that they have the things to motivate other teams to want to help them. And Giannis has been fucking around for years now with maybe I'll leave if things don't get better. We haven't seen international players request trades just yet. They
for what it's worth,
pretty loyal.
Every time Giannis has done that, they have made a big trade.
Yeah, and it's fucked them. It's his fault too.
No. The first time it did not fuck them. The first time it won them a championship. Because the first time he said, do something or I'm out. They traded for Drew, and then they won.
Okay.
The second
they got a little bit too
sure. Crazy. But they're 50-50. It's not like they have no success. They literally won their first championship in 50 years because Giannis was like, I'm out if you don't do something. And they, you know what I'm saying? So just to say he fucked them over, I think is ridiculous. It didn't work this time around. I'm not denying that. It objectively did not work this time around. And maybe that could lead to him wanting out. But I don't know, man. It's tough because they definitely don't have a lot of stuff that they can trade. I don't know what picks are tradable. I don't know what is allowed to be traded. I don't know where I can see that either. I'm like, it's tough because there aren't a ton of horrendous contracts around the league. Dame might be one of the worst contracts in the league, right? I'm like thinking of another team that could have an equally bad contract. That might be like, all right, let's get off an extra year of money. Let's take on Dame. Maybe we buy him out. I'd rather have Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think LaVine is a winning player.
However,
I don't. But
if you are
top 6 targeted on defense, okay, go ahead.
If you are the Bulls, Patrick Williams makes $18 million for 5 years, and he's young, so maybe you just say let's keep trying. But if you trade Vucevic and Patrick Williams for Dame and whatever picks you can get, right? The Bucks get off the Dame contract. The Bulls get off the Williams contract, and at the very least, the Bulls fill seats with Dame and Zach LaVine for a couple of years. And I know that's not ideal. I know it sucks. But you get a couple extra picks. I don't know if either team would do it. I don't think either team would do it. But that is, you know what I'm saying? That is at least like, maybe this is something. because other than that, I don't see a team around the league taking on Dame's contract willingly. I just there isn't one, unless because even the Nets are about to get off Ben Simmons' deal. That was it for so many years, but they're going to get off it this year. It's just not. It just doesn't exist.
I think this Dame thing has James Harden and Brooklyn written all over it. Like that's just what it feels like. It feels like he's just destined to be there for a short period of time. It's clearly
Could you scam the Lakers?
probably those idiots are willing to do anything for LeBron. Like seriously,
I'm serious.
And are they a second apron team though? The Lakers, like, can they
No.
combine? They can't.
Yes.
They really aren't.
No, they're not.
They must not pay anybody dick that's not LeBron or Anthony Davis. Then
Correct, but they would have to combine a lot of salaries to get it. So it would have to be. It would have to be Russell Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and Jalen Hood Shafino for Dame. Which if I'm the Bucks, I'm doing immediately. And if I'm the Lakers, I wouldn't do. But we've seen them do stupider.
Well, the thing about the Lakers is I think they're a better fit for Dame than Milwaukee is. I suppose you could have had the same thought process for Milwaukee. Like, oh, it'd be great for him to play with Giannis. But, like, Dame can play without the ball in his hands. And if you want to put him next to LeBron, it's another guy that can shoot the ball. Like, at the very least, you're going to get probably the most out of him and put him in a situation to succeed instead of having him try and
I would argue
your turn, my turn with Giannis.
And I would argue they have a better defensive infrastructure with Anthony Davis to make up for it a little bit.
Well,
just because he's more
not bad.
I know, but just because
Giannis is a pretty good defender.
He is, but they run Brook Lopez on the back line so much that Giannis is more helping over. I think it is just AD in the middle, like helping with everything. I don't know. Maybe they are better, but I think they've got a little bit better infrastructure. I think Anthony Davis is like the best defender in the NBA, or he's up there. He's one of them. He's top 2, 3, and he's not 3, and he's not 2. You know, whatever. Outside of that, though, it's rough, man. Unless like, do you just like try to send out Chris Middleton's contract, get a good player and a bad contract back? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of Dame,
Middleton,
it would have to be a team that wants to get off a longer term salary than the 2 years that he has. Do you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who has got like a 4-year contract, they don't want to pay it, so they're going to give you like 2 mediocre players for somebody who's literally not giving you anything. Do you know what I'm saying?
What if Miami trades Jimmy for Chris Middleton?
I wouldn't do that if I'm Miami, and they can't do it because Middleton doesn't make as much as Jimmy, so the Bucks would have to combine salaries, and they can't do that.
Well, there goes that. Just because it doesn't feel like Miami wants to pay Jimmy.
They don't, but you can get something for Jimmy. Jimmy has value. There is value in Jimmy Butler.
I'm trying to think of who else is there. It's tough because now, like, when Middleton got his payday, the cap was different, so that was a more like bolsterous contract to pay. And I just like associate him with other guys that are making way more money than him because at the time it was like Middleton got a good amount of money.
Yeah, Middleton only makes 31.5 mil. So it's like, it's a lot, but it's not egregious. Like you could do, I don't know how much wiggle room the Bulls have, but like you could do Patrick Williams and Javon Carter, Chris Middleton, which I don't think helps the Bucks too much, but it gives you 2 players who will play, will get on the court. If you're like the Lakers, you could do D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent for Chris Middleton. You know what I'm saying? Like there is something, there are rooms you could do, and then that would give the Bucks an extra offensive creator. That would give them Gabe Vincent, who at the very least is a decent perimeter defender. If you're the, let me see, who else has got bad contracts?
I'm just looking at teams in the West. I'm like, who could want Chris Middleton to try and make them a better team? Because he is a good player. He's just never healthy. Like, how do teams even look at him now? Is he a positive or negative trade asset? I don't know.
Definitely negative. He doesn't play. He's not on the court. He just had double ankle surgery, and he hasn't been healthy for the past 3 years. I can't imagine that's a very good contract.
Do you let's see, we've been talking about the Bucks for probably like 15 minutes, which is good potting. Like, we have plenty to say about them. But the amount of like, what if this, what if that we have to do, it does show that they're like, what is the thing in the hospital called? The heart monitor thing that beeps, like that thing.
They're flatlining.
They're not flatlining, but like the beats are coming in far, far more distant than a healthy
Yeah.
person would be.
They're certainly struggling. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. Maybe it's like if you're the Wizards, I was gonna say you could do like Chris Middleton's contract for Kuzma and Kispert. But if you're the Wizards, you can get better packages for those two individually than combining them for Middleton or whatever picks the Bucks can give you.
That's the problem. Like the Bucks probably don't have the best trade package for anybody that works.
No.
And that's where they run into the
And I'm even wrong because Kispert can't even be traded this year because he signed an extension after the 28th of September, so he can't even be traded.
Dude, the Bucks might like really be dead.
I will not say they're dead until like at least 30 games in because I still think Giannis is Giannis, and there's always a chance. But
miserable yesterday.
I know. And I think there's a chance Giannis asks out. I think he's like, by the trade deadline, hey, like you guys fucked up. This is not good.
And you put this in
go.
here for Mark Stein. That is the only way he's going to be included in trade talks.
Yeah.
He asks for a trade.
Yeah, Mark Stein reported that, quote, Giannis trades up to Giannis. He said, according to NBA insider Mark Stein, rival teams don't expect the Bucks to show, quote, any willingness to move Giannis and will only discuss trades if the superstar wants to be moved. Quote, it's understood quite clearly that in 29 other front offices that Antetokounmpo is only ever going to be made available for trade if he pushes for it, which I don't know if he'll do because he loves Milwaukee, but if there was ever a time, it'd be now.
Yeah.
Where would be the best landing spot for Giannis?
Bill Simmons talked about the Nets being a landing spot for Giannis. I didn't look into it too much. I just happened to open Twitter and see the clip. I don't really know what they would do there. For Giannis, a team that feels realistic is OKC, just because of all the assets they have. If you're OKC, you might be willing to part with one of your young pieces to bring in Giannis.
Would you trade one of Chet or Jaylen Williams for a 29-year-old Giannis?
Yeah, probably. The only problem with that is, well, here's what I'll say, right? Chet. Start with Chet. I would trade him first. Chet has a body that, bear with me, is more likely to be injured like chronically. Like he is 7 feet tall. He's not very muscular. He's not built to be durable. He just got hurt. He missed his entire rookie season with an injury. Well, it's supposed to be rookie season with an injury, so he was a rookie last year. The problem with trading for Giannis is a top 5, top 2 player in the world when he's healthy. Giannis has not been healthy in the playoffs 2 years in a row. So you have that. If it becomes year 3 in a row, it really feels like a trend. It's tough to say if it's bad luck or a trend at this point, but it's trending towards a trend, in my opinion. So if you're OKC, you might hesitate on that, but at the same time, you feel like you can afford to lose a Chet for Giannis. It depends. The answer to your question is, if you believe in Giannis's health, yes, you do it.
I don't know.
Is Chet ever going to be a top 2 player in the world?
I don't know. Chet's going to be a multi-time All-Star.
I don't disagree.
He's going to be second or third best player on an amazing playoff team. Would you trade Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant? I think this is almost bar for bar. It's a very similar question.
It is a similar question. It's a good point.
And you said no for Jaylen.
I think at the time we said no. Durant was a little older at the time.
Sure, but Chet's a little younger.
Jaylen also didn't. Jaylen is shown to be very durable.
Sure. I get it. Chet's 23, 22. I don't know. I don't know if I do it. I do think what Bill Simmons said about the Nets, I think that actually, thinking about it, that would be a really good landing spot for Giannis. It would be tough for me to see them winning a championship, but I think they could have put together a roster that could win a championship within the next year or two.
Well, it's easier if you're Giannis and you're thinking about it like that. It's easier for the Nets to put a contending team around you than fucking Milwaukee.
Yes. And also, they have a phenomenal supporting cast thing in place.
Some of those guys will be gone.
Why?
You gotta give Milwaukee something in return.
Sure. Yes. But if you're Milwaukee, what's the point of getting a Dennis Schroeder, Dorian Finney-Smith, or Cam Johnson if Giannis isn't there?
So is it a 3-team trade then?
No, because you have the salary. Bogdanovich makes $20 million. Ben Simmons makes $40 million. And then you have a ton of picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if they want a young player, you'd be like, hey, here is like, I don't know, Jalen Wilson's look pretty good this year. Maybe if you're really willing, maybe you trade Cam Thomas. Maybe that's the Thomas trade, so you don't have to extend him, right? And you can do Ben Simmons and Bogdanovich for Giannis. And I don't know if the Bucks could do that because they might have a little bit too much money, ironically. And like maybe say, okay, we'll take Pat Connaughton's salary or something like that. And then you have a ton of picks. Like that, I mean, the Nets have all the picks in the world because of the Harden trade, because of the Durant trade, because of this trade, that trade, because of the Mikal Bridges trade. Like they have a million picks to trade for Giannis. Like they have enough trade picks to trade for Giannis and then go trade for somebody else to pair with Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Like the Nets have picks. A team thing. Rockets.
Yeah, they are in a very similar situation to OKC.
Damn good.
Their team isn't as good.
Yes. Unfortunately, I think the Mavericks would also probably be a really good team.
What do I care? It's the West.
I
I also think if you're the Mavs, hear me out, you run into a similar issue that you're seeing in Milwaukee where
they also don't have a ton of picks.
Where Luka and Giannis have to like take turns. That is clear. That is a clear issue between Dame and Giannis right now. Is it feels like they have to play to take turns. Now there could be a better chemistry with Luka.
I get it. Luka is 10x the pick and roll player that Damian Lillard is. Like not even in the same stratosphere. And we've already seen Luka be able to do that because Kyrie is already there. Past that, I don't really know.
It's not so much about Luka, it's more about Giannis.
If you are the Clippers, that's a weird one.
If you're the Clippers, you do fucking anything, man. You just built that arena. Like the Clippers don't have any picks, though. That's the problem. Like they don't really have like that many exciting assets to bring to Milwaukee. Like in like the consoling, hey, yes, you're losing your franchise player, but hey, look at this.
They have a lot of like quote rights to swap picks. But they don't, you're right. They don't have a lot of trades. The only tradable pick they have is 2031. So they have 2031. Like, would you do like Kawhi and that for Giannis? Would the Bucks do that? Definitely not. The Bucks
that feels like it would have to be a 3-team trade.
The Bucks definitely wouldn't do that.
And I also think there's another chemistry issue you run into with Harden, with Giannis.
I get it, but again, just one of the best pick and roll players who has ever played the game of basketball.
It's true. It isn't there, but
what about Atlanta? If we're picking pick and roll players, that is a pick and roll.
They have Ricochet. They've got like handful of. I mean, Jaylen Johnson's gone. If that's the trade, you have to get him back if you're Milwaukee.
Yep, probably.
They have like more exciting pieces than like the Clippers do, especially if you're a team that's taking back.
And they have better picks because they have the New Orleans picks from the DeJounte Murray. We can stop talking about the Bucks soon, I promise. But
no, it's like the most interesting storyline right now to me. Like they are clearly in peril.
What if they did Devin Vassell and picks and put Giannis next to Wemby?
Well, they do have good picks. Yes. But I don't really know if like any of the young players in San Antonio besides Wemby are like that exciting.
Sure, but you got the picks. They have a lot of picks they could trade. I don't know, man. It's weird. The Nuggets don't have
on
picks.
The same team. Teams would not step inside the 3-point line.
No. I don't know. It's weird.
Let us know what you think for Giannis in the comments.
Could the Pacers do something?
Are they combinable? Are they a second apron team?
Mm-mm. So you could trade like Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, and like maybe like Ben Mathurin. He's been a monster. this year.
Mathurin's good. I was going to say before that, I'm like,
Jarris
none of those
Walker.
guys are exciting enough. If you're the Pacers and you're getting Giannis, you probably have to give up like Nembhard
Mathurin.
and Mathurin. Like you have to really sweeten the pot for them because we've just gone through several trade packages for Giannis, hypothetically. And if I'm the Bucks, I'm like, you're giving me who for Giannis? Not that Mathurin sucks. He's very good, but he's not make you feel better about losing Giannis good.
Sure. I mean, they could do Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, Ben Mathurin. 2028 first unprotected, 2030 first unprotected, 29 and 31 swaps for Giannis.
The picks are there. I don't know what I like the best.
It's weird. It would be the biggest trade sweepstakes since KD, and maybe bigger than KD because Giannis.
I mean,
is only 29.
this shit hasn't even happened yet, but it just feels like it's inevitable at this point. I don't really believe in the Bucks. I don't think they can get better. If they're not dead, they're gonna have to do it internally. Like it's gonna have to be like player X learns how to shoot threes, player Y gets his head out of his ass, like that kind of.
So everyone's gonna get mad at me because I'm not advocating for this. I promise. We will objectively run into another would you trade Jaylen for this player scenario. It just would happen.
I think now it's so solidified though. It's just like no. It's like no. Unless Jaylen is like consistently injured, like to where you're like, I don't know. Like no, I'd rather
trade. Okay, they couldn't do it anyways. It's an illegal trade because both teams are in the second apron, so you couldn't combine. So okay, good. I'm glad. I was what is it? What's the word? Dreading. I was dreading the days of having to have those conversations. But the Knicks will definitely get involved because it's the Knicks. Anyways, we
Knicks
can move away
Lakers
from
are getting everyone.
I don't even want to talk. We were talking about how other teams want the Nets players too, but we just basically talked about that in the Bucks thing. So I'm just going to scrap that.
What's a true report?
Teams around the league are looking at like the Nets, which shocker, right?
The Nets are your consignment store to like get guys that don't suck to play with your stars. Like that's what this Nets team is. And the Nets team also has their own pick this year, so I'm sure the front office isn't thrilled seeing their team going out there and being better than everyone thinks, even though they're still not like they're still 4-6. Like they're not like 10-2.
No, yeah. It's from Mark Stein, Dennis Schroeder, Dorian Finney-Smith, Bogdanovich, all quality vets, making sub $20 million, frequently mentioned for rival teams. With first-year coach Jordi Fernandez clearly trying to win games, Brooklyn might have to ponder stripping down even earlier than it imagined, because they are just winning games.
It is funny, like the bar was so low for the Nets that they're 4-6, and everyone's like, "Can you believe how good the Nets are?"
I also think tanking is just harder in the Eastern Conference. It's weirdly enough.
We got to play who? We play the Raptors again?
God damn it! Shit! Fuck. The Jazz are sitting pretty out west, like we're gonna lose a lot of fucking games.
Yeah, they're like, man, we get OKC, then Denver.
Yeah, a lot of teams,
Minnesota,
players,
like those teams are on the same division.
Dude, like just look at the Nets. Like, unless they do the opposite and say, okay, let's go get Giannis, let's go get a monster, because I do think that is very possible because I think they have a good infrastructure to bring in a superstar. Nick Claxton, great trade piece, making under 30 mil. Cam Johnson making under 25 mil, great trade piece. Bogdanovich, 19 mil, 1 year contract. Dorian Finney-Smith, 15 mil, 2 years. Dennis Schroeder, 13 mil, 1 year. Cam Thomas, 4 mil, 1 year. If you want to, sweeten the pot on a big trade, like their entire roster is good player can be traded. Like they're just going to be a fire sale team, which is going to be interesting to watch.
So incoming, Jack.
What is incoming?
We talked about it earlier in the show. Giannis, dirty player or not, there is a Giannis dirty player mixtape on my timeline.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me pull it up. We'll do this.
We're gonna go to the review. Oh my god, the one I just this is 5 minutes long. We don't have to watch the whole thing. I just I'm not used to Twitter videos being longer than like 2 minutes.
Hopefully it's not choppy, but here's the honest player
it might be
mixtape.
choppy.
Let me know if it's choppy.
No, it looks clean to me.
Okay.
Well, not the play, the video. That's so
What are we
nothing.
doing? What are we
No,
doing?
It gets worse. So far, like that is the one that I've seen that is nothing.
Sure,
He
I
fucking
guess.
kills Jabari Park. Is that Jabari? No.
Yeah, the step in. That is Jabari Parker.
Oh, it is Jabari.
Yeah, you can't step. That's a flagrant for sure. Yeah. Why we played it 3 times? Okay. Early career Giannis for sure. A little bit.
This one's fire. Look at this. Oh wait, no, not this. It's from the same game. Stand by. Giannis goes
this
down.
is
Ready?
dirty play. Absolutely.
You know this play?
Yeah. He just just shoves. I think Mike Dunleavy into oblivion. You got ejected for this for sure.
Said take a seat.
Yeah, Giannis was. Maybe there is a little bit of dirtiness. I just think he's too aggressive. At times. That wasn't even a crazy shove by Dunleavy on the other end. I mean, he did have Zaza Pachulia on his team, so
He
is
did.
there
He
like
learned
does it
from the GOAT.
go? Does it progress to like more recent years? Like, can we watch like
I mean,
recent years
this stuff is
Giannis?
all relatively recent. The one, I
Um,
mean, this is against the Celtics 2 years ago. No, this isn't even. Oh yeah, it is. It is 2 years ago. This is 2023.
I don't know, man. Maybe a little bit. Maybe there's a little bit to it, but I don't think Giannis is a bad guy. Like, I don't think Giannis is out there going to try to hurt people. But maybe is a little bit. Maybe he rides the line a little bit too much, if you want to say it that way. Anyways, all right, Ratless, Sam, what do you got?
Ratless is credit card companies, man. I applied for my first credit card probably 2 years ago, maybe less. I don't remember exactly when the time frame was. What I can tell you is not a lot of places want to take me. Now I get spam mail all the time. Nice Chase Freedom card letter. Come join us. Discover card. Come join us. You guys didn't want me when I was trying to get a credit card. Now all of a sudden, you're trying to pick me up because my credit score is supposedly good. I don't even know if I should be talking about that on the air. Now all of a sudden they want me. It's kind of rude, insulting.
I'll rat list my congestion because last night was the most painful I've ever had to try to sleep in my life. It was awful. I'm just sitting there like back and forth. Dude, I'm just like I lie on my back and the congestion is in both my nostrils. So I have to like sleep with my mouth open. My throat hurts. And then my throat starts to hurt so much that it hurts to like breathe through my mouth. But then I can't breathe through my nose. So I flip to one side and congestion moves to the other side. So I can breathe out of this one. But then it starts building up in both. So I have to flip to the other side. It was just terrible. And I don't think it's going to be much better tonight, but my God, I can't shake it. This is, and the worst part is like, okay, not this, I don't want to be gross, but I hate blowing my nose because it gets everywhere and it just makes me like, I have sensory issues. Like I cut the tags out all my shirts or wear my socks inside out just because I don't like any minute feeling will just like bug me. Right. It'll just bother me. So the feeling of all of that right here, like, having a fear of it seems like too aggressive, but it really like fuck, like I hate it. Like it really it's like nails on a chalkboard, feeling all of that right here. Like it skews me out. So I tried it a couple times. Most of the time I just like wipe my nose with like toilet paper or paper towels, but then my nose just gets all red and scratchy and it really hurts. It's just oh my God, it's the worst. So I've been in a state of disarray for the last 12 hours.
Rat list, kind of bitched about this before last weekend. I am so far out on these. I hate going to restaurants that are like too fancy. You know what I'm talking about? You ever go to a restaurant and like you know like what one thing on the menu is, and you're like, what am I doing here, man? Just fucking give me like it was like a Mexican place. So like just give me like fajitas, man. Like I know what I'm getting. I hate when there was only one thing on this menu I went to. They had chicken. Can we please be serious?
What? How?
I don't know, man. And the whole point of the restaurant is like you order a bunch of small dishes and you sample them instead of getting like a real
tapas.
I don't know what that is.
Tapas. Yes.
Sure. Out. Just
like
have a
bring,
regular
like,
restaurant.
Small over and over, like you order small plates that you guys can try over and over and over.
Yeah,
Yes.
they probably want to
Run it up for sure.
yes. What I can say is nobody asked for that. There's nothing wrong with having a themed restaurant in terms of like you have Mexican food, you have Italian food, you have Asian food. I don't care, man. Just make it so the meals are regular. Just give me something. I know what it is. You should all I really sound like I'm just asking them to have a kids meal. Which I mean, sure, you want to have a kids meal.
Yeah.
Kid meal. Oh man. The brunch places are the worst. I hate going to a place for brunch breakfast and they don't have pancakes. Shut the fuck up and just make me fucking pancakes. Like that's why I'm here. Every place that has breakfast should have a platter that you can get pancakes or French toast or waffles with eggs, meat, and potatoes. Every single one. Don't care what the theme is. Every single one should have.
You know what I got? So we went to a brunch place after the half marathon yesterday, and it was
Sure they ate
it was kind of weird because it was like Danny, Ryan, and Meg, the three people who run it, and then me and Brian, who are roommates. Mike, roommate, small there, and Ryan's parents were there, and Ryan's girlfriend was there, and their friends from home. So there was like so many of us, and me and Brian,
Avengers.
yeah, and it was just like it was whatever. But they had a chicken and waffles sandwich, so it was waffles with fried chicken, like cheddar cheese on top.
I'm sure it was good.
It was special. It was phenomenal. I was very pleased with their selection. So I was a happy guy. So this isn't really a rat. This is just kind of a funny story. So I went on a first date the other day.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yeah. So she's very nice. I think we're going out again.
How
later this week.
exciting.
She's cool, but it was funny. She is a therapist, right? And we're like talking, whatever, making small talk conversation. And I obviously, I love Crocs, right? So I bring it up like, funny thing, whatever. And I don't know how else other things come up, but we're talking about a bunch of like small talk, whatever. And she goes, "Have you ever been diagnosed with ADHD?"
Oh, that's mean.
No, in like a very funny way. Like it was not like with malintent. It was just like she was like listening to all these traits. She's like, "Yeah, you definitely have ADHD, bro. What the fuck?" And it was just like, damn, that's a tough look.
Well, that's like when I started meeting some of my girlfriend's friends because they're all med students. And like one of them like wanted to be in optometry, and she was like, "Why do you not have glasses?" And I was like, "You know what? I didn't come here for you to be like get glasses. I came here to like meet you. Like that's not why I'm here."
It was very well,
Jack. W.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, she was nice. Yeah, I think we're going out later this week probably.
Wow,
it's cool.
Did you get
I'm
sick?
so bad. What do you say?
She get you sick?
No, I don't think so. I'm very bad at small talk. Like not bad at small talk. Like,
There's nothing I hate more than small talk.
You know what I'm saying? So I think internally I felt awkward just because I hate small talk, but I don't think it was awkward. I think it was just my internal, like, God, I feel like I'm bad and or don't like small talk. So I'm like, I don't know. Like
if you're
internally, I was like anxious. But she was very nice, so I'm excited. We'll go out again. But
Ratless
anyways,
is me, kind of.
Yeah.
So yesterday I was on the pregame show. You guys got no instead. Everybody was probably happy about that, including Jack. So I was at like a girlfriend activity. Girlfriend had like a get together, whatever.
That was our hypothesis, yes.
And what I can tell you is I was on the couch watching the Celtics the whole time. Like you ever see the meme of like the guy at the party and everyone's like talking and the guy's in the corner and they're like, he's like, they don't know this.
Yeah,
you know
they don't know.
About?
Yeah,
they don't know the Celtics are hunting. I was just sitting there on the couch. I was on the couch. The game started at 3:30. Party starts at 4. And I was like, well, I'll just sit here and like I know like this guy's coming, that guy's coming. They like basketball. They'll come join me. Nobody came and sat with me on the couch. So I was just in there.
Why did no one watch with you?
It was like a Friendsgiving. So like they all sat at the table, but I like kind of figured that like they would just like migrate. I was like, yeah, like,
Wait,
I'm
you
sure
didn't?
This dude.
Did you sit and eat with them at the table?
After the game, at halftime, I poked my head out. It was a good game. I enjoyed the game. That was my favorite game of the year. I'm not gonna leave. It's Celtics Bucks. I'm not gonna fucking sit at the table. Plus, it's also like not my event. Like nobody was there to see me. You know what I'm saying?
Was she mad or was she okay with it?
No.
Oh.
No, she wasn't mad. She understood. It's work.
This is like setting the this is like if your mom gets mad at you for getting a B, so you have to set the standard at a B, so like she'll be okay with a B. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to start getting C's so she accepts a B.
This is why like I started all of this. Like
You set the
6
bar
years ago,
low.
I started writing articles so I could be like Celtics game on. Sorry, have to watch it.
Oh man! All right,
Food was
that's all I
good.
got.
I
I
enjoyed
don't have
chatting
anything
with
else.
everybody for like an hour or so after the game, but game was excellent. Wasn't going to leave the couch. I was comfy, and I just kind of figured people would come in and sit with me. Like I didn't do it to be a dick, but I was like, all right, well, nobody cares. I'm gonna stay here.
Sure. That's all I got. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, good show.
Cool. All right, we'll wrap up there. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Leave us a review on Apple, please. I don't want to start begging again, but I will. Please leave us a review. And I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment. Tell us where Giannis is going. Make sure you hit the bell. Jack and I are here every morning with new stuff. Full pods like this one drop Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Game recaps are in and up on the channel the morning after each game. And then we have other videos in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. We also have pregame streams on the channel before every game for a half hour. So come hang out for those. They're a lot of fun. If you want just the audio stuff, that's fine. All games, game recaps and pods are on Spotify and Apple. Like Jack said, leave a 5-star review. We would appreciate that. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys. We go through your emails every single recording, so make sure you get in touch with us because you guys are a big part of the show. You can also find us on socials at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's just the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's Money NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.